Thanks for staying with us. I'm Bill O'Reilly, and he is the legal segment tonight. Two very hot topics. We begin with the Army investigating Sergeant Bergdahl for alleged desertion in Afghanistan. You may remember President Obama traded 5 captured Taliban war criminals for the sergeant last May. In July, I said this. I don't believe that anything's going to happen to Sergeant Bergdahl. I think the fix is in. I don't think that Chuck Hagel, Defense Secretary, is going to do it, or the Pentagon's going to do anything. They want him out. They're going to just get, and you'll see it very quietly, they'll get him out. That's what's going to happen. The Army's investigation was supposed to be completed weeks ago. Still nothing. With us, attorneys and Fox News analyst Kimberly Guilfoyle and Lisa Wheel. So, Will, what's going on?
They're refusing to tell us. We've called them again and again and again. As of today, as of late of today, all they'll say is they're outstanding issues.
They?
The Army spokespeople. They'll say they're outstanding issues there. They're doing all this investigative.
Outstanding issues.
It's going to go through the Army leadership, not giving us a deadline. They set their own deadline, by the way, for August 15th, and obviously
they blew
that deadline
right.
with no excuse. So we have no idea what's going on in this investigation.
But here's the best part. They were on the record for the factor saying there are no new developments since August. So why did they blow the deadline?
What are these issues?
What's the excuse for the delay?
Because they're ongoing whatevers, right?
Right. They keep pushing it back, and then they won't tell us what the next step is, and when the Army leaders meet to go over what the charges will be.
It looks like what I said
was true.
Is coming true.
Will,
you're shaking your head?
You're right. Well, it bugs me to say you're right, but I think you are.
But that's what it looks like.
So what do you
it looks like that. What I think it
Psychic
is.
Friends Network.
I think the evidence is so overwhelming that Bergdahl, number one, deserted.
Right.
All right.
Well, that's.
And number two, could have collaborated. Right. That President Obama would be embarrassed, big time, if the Army makes that declaration. All right. Now look, I am now in the world of speculation, everyone. I have no facts to back that up, other than the testimony of his unit in Afghanistan.
Right.
Men, I believe, told the truth.
So if the Army just lets this go, just investigates
no, they
and
don't
investigates
know
and
what to do. They're looking, it's almost like the NFL and Ray Rice. They're looking for some way to give him a 2-game suspension, you see? They're looking to diminish it so that the commander-in-chief isn't put in a position of derision. That's how I read it as a journalist. I could be wrong. Ooh, I hate that.
Don't say that.
All right, Colorado.
Admit that.
Judge Kurt Horton.
Yep.
Guilfoyle.
So.
All right, wait. I have to outline this to people who didn't see the initial reporting. Gives a 69-year-old pervert caught with more than 1,000 pictures of children being raped and sexually abused. There he is, all right? No prison time at all. Halfway house where he can order in pizza. Parole. Not probation, parole. Okay.
Probation.
It's probation.
12
I mean, he's not parole. Probation. Can you explain this sentence to me as a former prosecutor?
As a former prosecutor who prosecuted child abuse and sex exploitation cases, I find this appalling. 12 years probation, 3 years in a halfway house. It's an abomination. He was convicted of 5 very serious charges of distributing and possession of child pornography. This is a man who could have faced 48 years behind bars.
So why did this judge?
So we checked out this judge.
Right.
And to be honest, there is nothing in Judge Horton's record of past cases that would suggest this kind of aberrant behavior.
So he's been a decent judge?
He's been a decent judge.
He has been a decent judge up to this point. But guess what? You're only as good as your last sentence.
Well, wait a minute. Is he up for re-election this cycle?
He was re-elected in 2012 with a 68% vote. So he's been.
So he's not up this time around.
But look, you can't blame the
jury
judge.
trial.
Yes, I can blame the judge.
You can blame the judge as long as you want, but that's not the solution, because the problem here is there's no mandatory minimum.
Colorado is a permissive state, a libertine state. They didn't want to pass Jessica's law. It's watered down. You know the pot situation.
Right.
But let's get back to this Horton. Okay? Now, he could tell the factor. He could come on here tomorrow and explain why he did what he did. There's no state law that prevents him from doing that, is there?
No, there isn't.
So he could do it.
But the DA's not even upset with him. The DA says
they told us they were.
Well, they said they blame it on the system,
on
light statute, not on the judge. But you have to understand something. The jury did its job here and convicted
this
convicted
him. Right.
And guess what? And under federal law, it would have been a minimum on each one of these of 5 years.
That's what has to happen. Colorado has to come up to the federal law, which the mandatory minimum of 5 years.
But it won't, because Colorado, for some reason, is in the Vermont area
now. If you don't want sentences like this to happen again and again and again, again, even with good judges, otherwise
She
good
wants-
judges.
she
But why
wants-
are we making
change the law.
excuses?
I'm
He
not
had
making
the ability
excuses.
to sentence up to 48 years. Why
And he didn't do
What
it.
he did
Doesn't
was
matter
So,
if it was federal law or
Judge
not.
Kurt Horton, at this point in time, is a villain. And all of the children who were abused in making that child porn are on his conscience.
Right.
Because he allows it to happen. Rather than sending a signal to every child pornographer consumer, you're going to go to jail for decades if you do.
I don't disagree, but the point is beyond that, which is the sentence was legal.
Well, doesn't mean that it was
That's
correct
right. It doesn't mean
or
it was
just.
moral.
No.
All right, ladies, thanks very much. Crowd Hour on deck. Would he support an elite mercenary army to fight the jihadists? Charles, moments away.